Speaking of the great guests, we are starting it at the elite level with our first guest, three-time NFL Super Bowl champion head coach Andy Reid of the Kansas City Chiefs joins the Bettor Angle. Coach, we appreciate your time. I know that the NFL Combine ended last week, and it's the off season as it continues going on. One, how are you doing, and how's the off season going for you and your team?
Cam and Clay, man, I'm glad to be on with you. Everything's going good. We're just into that free agency thing that's going to take off here Monday. So we're meeting on that. We've got the combine that you mentioned that we just got back from. So you've got that part of it with the draft coming up. So it's exciting time of the year.
Hey, Coach, man.
We're looking for the next Clay Harvard.
I was going to ask
That's
you.
what I was going to ask him. Like, I mean,
am I
you got
to
get down to KC, man.
Yeah, am I on the board there in these meetings? I mean, I'm not much older than Kelce over there, but Coach, is there a favorite part of the offseason for you? Like, do you like the draft prep, the combine stuff, the free agency stuff? Is there something that you prefer over the other?
Yeah, so I kind of like this process here of meeting all these new people, and the combine is like the first time that you're introduced to the college kids for coaches. The scouts have all met them and seen them at the schools and all that bit, but for us as coaches, it's the first time you have a chance to meet these guys. As far as free agency goes, we don't make a living in free agency, but we always bring in a select number of guys, and this year we just happen to have a lot of free agents that are potentially leaving our team or we're working to keep here. So I get excited about seeing who we're able to keep, and then for the kids that were here, if they do decide to go somewhere else, I'm excited for them to see how things go there for them. And then then you have that influx of new guys too that you're trying to recruit to jump on board with us. So all that's exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. Let's throw it back to the 2017 NFL Draft, Coach, because you said it's always fun and exciting to meet these new players, these college players, and you see them on film, but it's another thing to sit down with them and have those conversations. We got to talk about Patrick Mahomes and what you saw and what your coaching staff and franchise saw when it came to selecting him 10th overall in that 2017 draft. I know you watched the film, but was it even more impressive when you sat down and spoke to him to understand what his mentality was and how it would fit seamlessly with what you guys were doing in KC? But I don't know if you expected it to be at this level with him winning you guys 3 Super Bowls, but what was it about Patrick Mahomes when you drafted him that you knew he was the guy for you guys?
Yeah, Cam. I mean, we saw a kid that could throw the football and do it well. And then, Brett Veach, who's our general manager at the present time, it was John Dorsey at the time that we picked up, Pat. But Brett Veach was the guy that was out there. He was out beating the bushes as a scout, and Pat happened to be in his area. So he comes back and he goes, man, this guy is like the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. And so when Brett says that, you kind of jump to attention. And so Dorsey and I put the tape on and we went, my gosh, this guy is really good. Now, both of us have been around Brett Favre and had that opportunity I had an opportunity to coach him, and Dorsey had an opportunity to know him very well and be around him. So the way Brett was describing Pat sounded like Brett Favre. I mean, it was there were a lot of similarities there. The gunslinger type, and he had a big personality and a great leader and all these things. And so you put on the tape and you're seeing it produce there. You're hoping that it transfers. At that time, there weren't a lot of those guys from that type of offense that were making it in the National Football League. Now it's different, but back then, 8 years ago, it wasn't that way. So. But anyways, we brought him on board. We brought him in for a 30 visit. You get 30 visits with these draft kids before the draft, where you literally can bring 30 guys in, and he was one of them. And we sat him down for a few hours and just visited with him. And we go, doggone, this guy is like really, really special, or has a chance to be really special. And so just his aptitude, his ability to connect with people, it was second to none. So we ended up moved up and drafted him. But he showed us a whole lot before the draft. To answer your question in a simple way, he showed us a whole lot. He showed us the ability to play on the field, and he was able to transfer that to the NFL. And then, obviously his personality.
Yeah, obviously one of the best to ever do it. And, Coach, I want to ask you about a guy that I actually know pretty well. A former roommate of mine when I had a cup of coffee out there in New England with the Patriots, Joe Tooney. You're not asking about any reports or anything going on, but can you just speak on him as a player and a leader and what he's meant to that locker room in Kansas City?
Well, Clay, you know this, man. He's like my favorite, one of my favorite all-time guys that I've coached. Just, that human part of it. So you're around him, and he's just a good dude. I mean, just all around a good dude, and tough, dirty tough. He's going to do Chicago, just a heck of a job. I mean, he still can play. But the thing you got to do is you got to be able to manage this cap thing, and it's a nightmare that way. If you're not going to push a ton of money forward, then you got to manage the cap and try to keep consistent with this whole winning thing. And that's not an easy thing to manage. And sometimes you have to make these decisions, and it just kicks you right in the butt. They're tough ones. They're just tough. Now, we're lucky to have some guys that we feel like can step in and play that position, young guys. And you got to go ahead and you've got to take that, whatever risk there is, you've got to take it and say, hey, listen, we've done some things in the draft to make sure that we're in a position where we can make this whole winning thing a possibility. And so we did that last year with Kingsley, and he'll have an opportunity. Caliendo did a nice job working into that position, so you got good compete at that left guard spot, and then it gave us that opportunity to maybe move Joe and move him into a place that he really wanted to come to. And so you at the same time of taking care of ourselves, we were able to take care of Joe that way.
Well, Coach, we're going to save our best question for last because it involves your former player, Clay Harbor, and you guys were together in Philadelphia. So we have to know something about Clay's game, Coach, because you said that you were looking for the next Clay Harbor at the Combine last week at that tight end position. But give us a scouting report on this guy, Clay Harbor. I mean, what could he do out there on the field, and how was he as a locker room guy?
Yeah, well, great person. So that's where you start. You went to Missouri State. So not the biggest school in the world, but so gifted athletically and could run like a son of a buck. And so we welcomed him in to Philadelphia, threw number 82 on him, said, get out there and go, man. And so he did a good job for us, a lot of flexibility with him. Not the biggest guy for that tight end spot. He was kind of that, he probably flourished in today's world because he was kind of that great receiver. And then we're asking him not to go in there, and he developed as a blocker, and that's a tough ask. Today's world, at least in our offense with Kelce, you mentioned Clay, but we flex him out most of the time. That's what Clay could beat you up in that area.
All right, Coach, we appreciate that. I mean, Clay's still keeping himself in shape, so he's going to kind of try and see if he can find his way down to Kansas City so we can maybe hop on the roster really quickly. Yeah, Coach, great hearing from you. Great talking to you, man. If you ever out in Chicago, I'd love to buy you a cheeseburger like you used to always take care of us on the road. Wait, Coach, really, that's right. One more before we get you out of here. Travis Kelce, we got to talk about that. We mentioned him a little earlier in the conversation, but is he back? Is he officially back with his team? I mean, what are you expecting from Travis when it comes to the 2025 season? Yeah, sure. No, he said he was coming back, and he's all in. We had a great visit before he left, so he told me that. I always tell the guys, hey, listen, get out of here. He's an older guy. Get out and get your mind where it's not one day after the Super Bowl. Get out there and relax a little bit, and then let your mind calm down and think about it. But he's all in. He's a heck of a player. I mean, listen, he's getting older, but you're talking about the guy that's going to go down as maybe the best of all time at that position. And okay, well, if he's a step slower, or whatever people are saying with that,
he's still one of the best in the National Football League, and in my eyes, he's the best. So and I guess that's what counts. But he can still do it, and whatever he does on the field, the greatness that he is there, he's even that much better off the field. I mean, he's just he's a great teammate and a great human being. So one of those guys you'd say he's not going to do it, but one of those guys you'd say I'd love to have him on my staff when he's done playing, because he's going to be like you guys, where he's where he's in that media market or movie market, and he's going to be able to make a killing there too. So.
No, I know Chiefs fans love to hear that, Coach. We appreciate that. Coach, you just know this, that the doors of the Bettor Angle are always open to you. We appreciate you joining the show.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you, man.
All right, guys. Yeah, take care, Clay, man. Be good.
You too, Coach.
All right, three-time. Thank you, Coach. Three-time NFL Super Bowl champion head coach Andy Reid on the Bettor Angle. Said a lot of great things, Clay, when you think about just the offseason with Kansas City, obviously with what they're preparing for, what they saw in Patrick Mahomes back in 2017 that forced them really to move up in the draft, to draft Mahomes 10th overall. And then also Travis Kelce, saying that there's still something there. Might be a little step slow, but still with a guy like who he is and what he's able to bring on and off the field for this team as a locker room guy, as a team guy. Sounds like Coach Reid didn't say this, but you can see mentally where he's like, yeah, we're going to make another run at this thing. Don't count us out.
Oh yeah, and that's what he was alluding at with obviously the Joe Tooney move as well. They've got a number of guys that he thinks can step in, so he doesn't think they're losing too much there. So I wouldn't bet against the Chiefs going back and make another trip to the Super Bowl. He still thinks Travis Kelce's got some gas in the tank. And you also don't bet against Travis Kelce. Is able to get to know him a little bit before he was even in the league, because his brother Jason was obviously on the Eagles and was a good friend of mine. And he's just a true competitor. And I think the Chiefs got to be the favorite to get back to the Super Bowl in the AFC, and especially with the guy we just talked to, Andy Reid, knows his stuff. Said Clay Harbor could run like a son of a buck.
That's what he said out of Missouri State. Even remember the jersey number that you wore with the Eagles too, number 82. So there we go.
Yeah. Yep.
Love to hear that from Coach Reid, just sharing those stories of his former player Clay Harbor, and Clay, I'm sure, is going to try and take Coach up on not the offer, but just say, hey, Coach, I still got a little bit left, because this dude is always in the gym working out.